Hey, this is Charles. I'm here with Anthony from IGN.
Hello.
And we are looking at the third video to come out from EA and DICE's Battlefield 3, which is obviously a first-person shooter, in case you didn't know that. So this is sort of continuing on the storyline that we've seen so far, and Sergeant Black is trying to find an explosive device. I guess he's found a wire, and he's following that underground. So if we back up a little bit here, this is actually the first time we've seen him by himself, so the squad of Marines is not with him. So there will be sort of like solo gameplay moments, and I believe that is a mouse.
No, it's a rat.
Is it a rat? I guess
it's way too small to be a mouse. Confirmed rats in Battlefield 3.
Rats in Battlefield 3. I don't know if that's actually an enemy rat, though. DICE would neither confirm nor deny that you can shoot that rat if you're fast enough. What I thought was cool in this part is that your gun does have a flashlight attachment, and you can toggle that on and off, and you just see some really cool like lighting effects there as it's on. And if you back up a little bit
about to 27
before this, you can actually see the vents shaking here as you come through, and yeah, there we go. And that is foreshadowing something to happen later, and also, if you've been watching these videos, something that happened in the first video that came out while the squad was roaming around on city streets. So as we drop out of the vents here, Black is going to sort of survey the scene, and on his left he will notice the wire, which is sort of going into a room over there on the left.
And is the whole reason, what you've been following this whole time,
yes,
to come down into the building.
And so if we stop here, I guess, I don't know if you would call this a standard explosives bench, but there seems to be one element that is a little out of place there.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's obviously a throwback to Battlefield 2, the pink bears, which apparently you would find in crates in Battlefield when you would shoot them apart.
Yeah, it was just a little like Easter egg type of thing, and apparently this explosive expert has taken it upon himself to bring that to the next level, because I would not want to mess with those. If you look closely at the bears, there is a wick coming out of their stomachs.
I mean, it wouldn't be too surprising. I mean, in past wars like Vietnam and stuff, it wasn't uncommon for things like toys to have IEDs actually placed in them. So maybe that'll be a component in the game at some point.
Yeah, and so when you approach this box here to pull a wire out, if we stop right there, obviously the guy that not made it is not very happy about you tampering with his product there, and he's approaching from behind and decides to punch you in the face, which obviously is bad. You can see on the right side of the screen little button prompts pop up, sort of similar to when you had to drag a teammate in an earlier video out of the line of fire, although these are mouse clicks. And so you're not directly controlling each punch here. This is just more of a, get through the sequence. And there is a fail state if you're not able to hit everything on time. I mean, the first person perspective is clearly very important to DICE here, as you never leave it, although there will be times in the game you do. And thankfully, I mean, I don't know if you find the quick time sequences annoying, but
I mean, I think that it's an okay way to handle first person combat like that, much more so than something that would feel a lot more canned than like actually having to learn some cheesy fighting system, especially if it's not going to be a component they repeat repeatedly throughout the game, Right,
yeah, and it's not meant to be like, oh, this is a huge replacement for our shooting sequences. That's just a temporary type of diversion just to break up the action. Okay, so this sequence here out near the bridge, this is a more open sequence than what we've seen so far. You're given an order to go up to the bridge to go find a light machine gun, but you don't necessarily have to follow that. You can actually stay under the bridge and take cover behind these vehicles, which are not controllable. They're all broken down vehicles. But that will be more challenging. So if you actually do decide to go up on the bridge, like we see here, and fire down from above, you can sort of do a lot more damage. You do have cover in front of you there, but that can be knocked away if people do decide to shoot you, as they tend to do. And also that gun seems to be making quite the impact on the ground below there. What did you say?
Yeah, so right now you can see a lot of the destruction on the road, but you also get an idea of how inaccurate a heavy machine gun is when you're firing it full auto. Especially right there, you see the bullet spread goes kind of crazy. But in the next couple seconds, as we go prone, we see him pull out the bipod, and the bullet spread gets severely reduced.
Yeah, it's a much more accurate shot there, and is able to pick off a guy who's sort of half hiding behind a van, and that car, which blows up. And basically what DICE has done is all of these cars in the sequence can be exploded, if if that's a correct term.
Sorry, I was going to say, also this whole scene is just a really great example of DICE's sound design. Like, if there's one thing those guys have always done extremely well, and this continues to show it, is they make their guns sound like they are extremely powerful.
Yeah. There isn't like a kill shot you can do on those cars either to blow them up. So if you do like a really well-placed gas tank shot, that's not going to blow the car up. They just have sort of a shell damage, and once you take that to a certain threshold, then the car explodes. And obviously, like once you kill enough soldiers here, you see some mounted machine gun trucks kind of rolling in the distance.
One's there to the left, on the left side of the road already, and another one comes up over the horizon in just a second.
Yeah, and though that may seem overwhelming, you do get some air support in this situation, which happens all the time. It's not like a helicopter sort of randomly wandered into the scene here, and it's dropping a lot of shell casings, which, according to DICE, do not pile up on the ground. Interesting little detail there. But I mean, it looks pretty awesome. And so towards the end of this video, we see an earthquake, which is kind of the wow moment. But it isn't just a wow moment. It's actually kind of integral to the storyline, though the DICE won't say exactly what's happening. But I mean, that looks.
I imagine it'll be an awesome way for them to have you play through environments that you've already played through, but now they can be completely altered in a very drastically different way.
Yeah, that's true. They may actually funnel you like through places you've already visited, but now it's been totally changed by the earthquake. And yeah, I guess that would give them a cool way to sort of showcase how their engine handles destruction. A few notes on the machine gun on that car. We actually see you in a vehicle in this sequence right near the end, although you can't actually control that car. That is a disabled car, and you cannot pull that heavy machine gun from the truck there. That is stuck on. Although obviously it doesn't really do you much good in the face of an earthquake. And no details on what happens to Black after this situation, but I would assume something would be my guess. And there is somehow more footage to actually look at from this game. They say the full 12-minute reveal is still coming out, so hopefully we'll get some cool new stuff to look at then. Otherwise this is definitely one of my most anticipated games of this year. I don't know about you, Anthony.
No, it looks fantastic.